Hi everyone, I am Shraddha Namjoshi. I am an alumni of Academy of Pastry Arts and Culinary Arts, Mumbai. I graduated in February and today we are going to bake British scones. We'll just wait for 2 minutes for people to log in and then we can start. How many people are there? 20. We'll just go through the ingredients. This is 250 grams of plain flour, 75 grams of butter. We are going to use that first. This is 8 grams of baking powder, 40 grams of raisin, 2 grams of salt, 23 grams of milk powder and 50 grams of sugar. All of this is going to be the dry ingredients, and this is 40 grams of whole egg which is beaten and then weighed, and this is cold water. I need to check the weight. And this is the egg wash for the scones, which is 1 egg yolk, 1 whole egg, 30 ml of milk and a pinch of salt. This is 1 whole box of blueberries which I have halved, 10 ml of lemon juice and 100 grams of sugar, caster sugar. No, this is dusting flour. We'll just wait for 2 more minutes. In the meantime, I'll just share a bit about scones. So they date back to mid 16th century, where there are records of Scottish bakers making scones, but the British made them famous. They used to have them for the afternoon tea cakes. British society was based around their food timings, so between the lunch and dinner, people used to get hungry. So then they started eating scones with their afternoon tea. And they're generally served with homemade jam and clotted cream or butter. We'll see jam also after we are done with the scones. We'll start with the scones now. So this butter has been cubed, and I had kept it in the freezer till I started. It has to be cold, otherwise it will start melting in your hand. We'll add the whole butter and mix it in the flour. This is called the rub-in method, where we spread the butter everywhere to create small pockets of butter in the dough. This can also be done in a stand mixer with the paddle, but I'm showing it with my hand so that people who don't have a stand mixer at home can also do it. We try to break up the pieces. You can also rub it between your hands like this. This is one method. Another method, which is a less time consuming method, is in the food processor. So anyone who has a food processor can do that. I'll shift to that method now. So if you're starting with this, you can directly weigh the flour in the food processor and then add the butter here itself. And we are just going to give it quick pulses. We're not going to run this for a long time because we don't want it to cream the butter. Every few pulses you need to check if you've broken up the butter well. Doesn't have to be of a very sandy texture. It's okay if you have a few big chunks of butter. I'm just going to pulse it for 2 more times. Yeah, this is the texture we're looking for. Once we are done with the rub-in method for the butter, Now I'm just going to add all the dry ingredients: sugar, salt, milk powder, and baking powder. The baking powder is going to act as a leavening agent, so you cannot skip it. If you cannot find baking powder but have baking soda, then you need to add some acid to it, so that the baking soda reacts with the acid and gives the same effect of the baking powder. Just going to mix all the dry ingredients before I add in the wet ingredients. Also adding the raisins. Adding in the egg, and cold water. And just mix everything together. It is quite a sticky dough, but you want that moisture in the dough, otherwise it's not going to rise. Because the egg here is not a leavening agent, because we've not incorporated air in the egg. It's just to enrich the dough, give it some more fat, and as a binding agent. So you need the moisture in the dough for it to get a nice rise. I'm going to turn it out on the bench anyway, but I'm just incorporating it first. Now I'm just going to lightly flour. You don't want to take away too much moisture. Yes, egg substitute, I will get to it in a bit. Just lightly flouring it so that it does not take away it does not stick to the workplace. And we're just going to get it together like this. We don't want to knead it, because we don't want to create gluten. Because if we create gluten, then the flaky texture of the scones will be lost, which is the characteristic of a scone.
With the live we saved.
Yes, it will be saved. It will be uploaded on IGTV of the Academy page, so you can watch it later on as well. Just getting it together, not kneading it too much. We just want to make sure that all these dry bits are gone. That's only how much we are going to knead it. Just bringing it together. There's a parchment. Going to keep it on a parchment paper. You can also use a cling wrap and just spread it into a square. We need it to be about 1 inch thick. And we're going to chill this. We have to give it folds, so I have kept a dough ready with the folds. I'll just explain the folds a bit. So once this dough chills, we fold it 90 degrees this way, and then we chill it again for 30 minutes. After that, if we fold it this way, we tilt it 90 degrees, then fold it again. Chill it again for 30 minutes, then again tilt it 90 degrees and fold it again. We give it 3 folds at intervals of 30 minutes and chilling in between every fold. So I'm keeping this to chill, and I'll show you the dough that I've already chilled. Are there any questions so that I can answer while I'm doing this?
What is the substitute for egg?
So, egg substitute, as I said, egg is used as a binding agent and as a ingredient to add fat. So you can use milk, regular milk, or you can also use soy milk for vegan option. I'll just keep this in the freezer. Don't follow.
I have to clean the banana.
So this is the dough that I have made today morning, and I've tried baking a few. For baking, we preheat the oven at 160 for a combi, 180 for an OTG, because otherwise in the OTG it will take longer. For at 180 you can bake it for 15 to 17 minutes. I'll show you how we are going to cut the dough now. Okay, I'll show the folding. Let the dough chill for a bit and I'll show one fold. It's not cold enough for us to be able to handle it right now.
Can we use buttermilk?
Yes, definitely. You can use buttermilk, and if you're using soda, you should use buttermilk instead of milk so that the acid in the buttermilk will react with the baking soda. Third water. So I'm taking this dough. I've made it in the morning. I've already given it all the folds. This is a cookie cutter that I'm going to use, and I'm using some flour so that the dough does not stick to the cookie cutter. Flouring the cookie cutter, and we need to go straight down. You cannot twist and turn, otherwise the rise is different if you twist it while going down.
Will the taste change with buttermilk?
I don't think so. It will be less rich than what it would be with the egg, but not much, because there is no flavor as such that you get from the egg.
And what should be the thickness of the scones?
1 inch, 20 mm, that is 2 centimeters to an inch. You can use this leftover dough, but the texture is a bit different than what the actual dough will be. Now I'm just going to lightly brush this with the egg wash. Egg wash is again 1 egg yolk, 1 whole egg, 30 ml of milk and a pinch of salt. This is just so that the top gets a nice crust and color. My oven has been preheating already, so I'm putting it inside. For 15, we'll check it after 15 minutes. Wait 15 minutes of time.
What will be the proportion of buttermilk if someone's using buttermilk?
That you'll have to check with the consistency of the dough that we had. Probably you'll need little more buttermilk than the egg, because the egg is stickier than the buttermilk, but then you have to see for the moisture also. And you can roll it with a rolling pin. I'll show you with when the dough chills a bit. Till then we'll proceed.
not the dough, but will this be saved? So could you just repeat again?
Yes, the live is going to be saved on Academy of Pastry Arts India's IGTV. It will be saved probably in an hour, so you can re-watch it.
Will the dough not be more sticky because you're using more buttermilk?
Yeah, that's what I said. You have to take care of the moisture content as well. But you saw how the texture of my dough was when I mixed it in the bowl. But it absorbs more and more moisture as you need it. But you don't want to knead it too much because we don't want to create a lot of gluten strands. You'll have to eyeball it. Like for the first time, you'll probably have to check and then you can improvise.
And can you use milk wash instead of egg wash?
Yes, definitely. Milk wash you can use, but it won't give you as good color as the egg wash will. I'm taking the half berries. I'm adding the lemon juice and the sugar. Just mix everything together, and then I'm just going to start to mash it just a bit. If you like to have chunky berries in your jam, then don't mash it a lot. Are there any questions about the baking or anything? I'm switching on the gas now. It was off before. And keep it on low. Initially at least.
Are we not supposed to egg wash the sides of scones?
No. We are going to let this boil for 10 to 15 minutes so that it becomes thick. So we just continue doing this till our scones are baking. In the meanwhile, we can answer questions if there are any. The time required to make this jam depends on the moisture in the berry that you're using. So if you're using strawberries, probably the flesh is more and the moisture is less in strawberries, so it might take little less than what it would for blueberries.
How to proceed with blueberry compote?
Blueberry compote is the same thing this way, but in the compote you can add corn flour just to give it some thickness. Compote can also be made with puree, frozen berries as well. You have to constantly keep stirring, otherwise it's going to start burning.
How much corn flour for compote?
Just try with 1 teaspoon first, half a teaspoon actually, because corn flour thickens quite well. I'll still get back to you with the corn flour quantity.
We used fresh berries for
Yes,
this.
these were fresh berries which were halved, and then I added lemon juice, sugar, and mashed everything together before starting the heat. And after it was completely mashed, then we started to boil it.
And what's the probable shelf life of compote and the jam?
The homemade jam which does not have any other preservatives, it should be I think it should keep well for a few days in the fridge. But it has to be stored in a clean, sanitized container. If there is some moisture in the container, then probably it will go bad sooner. You have to cook it till it coats the spatula or the spoon well. It's still not at that consistency, probably a minute more. Not audible.
How do you use dried berries instead of fresh?
For a jam, you cannot use dried berries. You can use puree, frozen berries or fresh berries. I'm taking it off the heat. And it's coating my spatula well, and if I try to draw a line, it's holding its shape. So that's what we're looking for. I'll show it once again. When I try to draw a line, it's holding its shape. So we have to cook it till it reaches this consistency. You can show them the baking. There is ice in the freezer. Can you get it? I'm removing it from this just so that it cools down quickly for our presentation, but you can let it cool in this as well and directly transfer it to the container in which you are planning to store it. If you have any other questions after the live as well, you can DM me on cakes _and_ camera. I will be more than happy to answer your questions. I'm just keeping it on in a bowl full of ice so that it cools quickly. Is there a bigger bowl? That's too big. Any questions?
Can this jam be done with mango? Will it go with scones?
Scones are generally served with berry jams, but if you like mango, obviously whatever your preference. It's not a set rule, but berry jam and butter is what is traditionally had with British scones. I have baked a few before, so I'll show you. So this color is because of the egg wash. Without the egg wash, you won't get such a brown glaze on top. This one I tried baking with a milk wash. This was my test batch. So you can see the difference between the glaze of a egg wash and a milk wash.
How do you use the remaining dough?
You can use the remaining dough, but it doesn't give you the exact same texture like this because now there are air pockets in between as well. So if you try to combine it like this, you're going to have these pockets in between. Also, like I did not do this right now, immediately after you're done using this, you have to keep it in the chiller if you want to use it again. Since I don't know if I'm going to use it again, I left it out. I'll show you the folding of the dough once more, of the chilled dough. it's a little cold. It has to be in the chiller at least for 30 minutes, but just so that you know how to fold, I'll just show it once. I'm going to flatten it a bit, around 1 centimeter, because we want it to come up to eventually 2 centimeters, so we're going to halve it first. Now I'm going to fold it this way. And again try to make it into a square. Now we cover this and chill it again. After that, because now the first fold was this way, going to turn it 90 degrees. Now the next fold will be this way. Chill it again for 30 minutes so that you can handle it well. And then again, now the fold was here, so now you twist it like this and then fold again. And then you have to roll it out again to be of 1 inch or 2 centimeters thickness, and then you can cut it and bake it.
Is it okay if you use raisins?
Yeah, these are raisins. These are black raisins. You can use whatever
If we
raisins,
don't add
sultanas.
raisins.
If you don't add, yes, definitely you can. So this is a basic too. You can customize it to however you want. People add blueberries directly to the dough, dried blueberries and some lemon zest to make it blueberry lemon scones. So this is a very basic dough without any specific flavor. So you can customize the flavor to whatever you like it. But this is the classic. So British scones are these. So if you customize them, they're not British scones probably. What?
Temperature.
Baking temperature 160 for 15 to 17 minutes in the combi oven, and 180 for the same time 15 to 17 minutes in OTG. And you just have you'll have to probably look at the color on the glaze and check whether it's done or not. Also, you can just touch it and it has to have formed a crust. So if you touch it right now, it has a crust, but it will be soft inside.
How many folds in total?
3
in the
folds,
dough?
3 single folds. Done. I'll just show you how it's plated once. I'm using a serrated knife. I'm going to cut it. Just cut half and it will come off on its own. So like I said, the center is soft and more like a tough bread, and the outside is flaky. You could add cream on this and then sandwich it like this. If there are any questions, you can, like I said again, you can DM me on cakes_and_camera and I'll answer those questions. If you want to re-watch the whole video, it will be uploaded on Academy IGTV page, so you can check it out over there. Is there anything I should answer?
Is it a breakfast recipe?
It's not a breakfast recipe, it's an afternoon tea recipe. It's generally served at the afternoon tea in a typical English home. Done? Take care guys and be safe, stay safe and bye.